Flex, yeah, we setting the tone. Big talk, those stars shake down in the zone. We got shots, we got sports, we got suspects too. If you like chaos in football, it's the spot for you. Tune in, lock in.
Oh, babe, here we go again. I'm Ghost Dog.
And I'm Miss Hangover.
And this is his pick.
Her flex. Shakedown 2.0 official NFL fantasy podcast.
Yes, sir. Well, in this case, yes, ma'am. So real quick, man, round of applause for everybody. Round of applause for me and you, Miss H. You know what I mean? We're bringing another episode back to the people, them. Put some music on. And we're about to get into our top 5 running back prospects. The running backs that we feel, at least in our minds and opinions, will help you succeed in your football fantasy needs.
Thanks.
So real quick, babe, who you got to start off on this list? We got some overlap for sure. There's a couple players in there that was some overlap.
I'm actually going in blind on this because I never got to see your top 5 before we got to recording. So it's going to be a surprise for me, as it is going to be for all of you as well.
For sure. There's a lot more overlap than not. It's just, running back is just one of those positions where there's 3 names out there that have been really consistent these past few years, especially from a football fantasy perspective, that you really can't ignore. And if they're there in the first round, any one of those 3 running backs, you definitely want to snatch them up. I mean, hell, any one of these 5 on either of our lists, quite frankly, but we're about to get into it, babe. So as we always say around here, man, ladies first. Who's your first player up here? And again, this is no particular order. This is just top 5 grab bag type of situation.
I guess I'll start off by talking about Jahmyr Gibbs.
Jahmyr Gibbs, yes. So go ahead, set it off. How you feel about Jahmyr Gibbs?
Jahmyr Gibbs is the Lions, explosive dual threat back. In 2025, it proved exactly why he's a top fantasy option. He played all 17 games and put up 1,223 rushing yards on 243 carries, averaging 5 yards per attempt with a long run of 78 yards. Gibbs scored 13 rushing touchdowns and stayed clean with only 2 fumbles. As a receiver, this is elite volume for him. 94 targets, 77 catches, 616 yards, and 5 receiving touchdowns. So that's real usage. Gibbs' role is clear. He's Detroit's primary playmaker and their space creator and their most efficient weapon, in my opinion. Everything in this offense runs through his versatility.
Great breakdown, babe. And I couldn't agree more, man. And, just to set things off, again, this is my guy as well, Jahmyr Gibbs. He's one of my guys, man. Dual threat. Look, 616 yards in the air. That's like a number 2 receiver type of production. And this is all rolled into one. So as far as a cowbell, the type of player that's going to constantly bring you consistent points week in, week out. Absolutely. It's going to be Sonic. And it's crazy too, because talking about Sonic, he don't got Knuckles over there anymore. So I don't know if they will continue to do a running back by committee type of situation, or it's just going to be a situation where
we got the leggy leg on the footage.
Oh, a little bit, right? That happens. What are you going to do?
A lot of
it.
But
yeah, no, absolute dual threat, high production, good touchdown volume. You can't go wrong with number 0, Jahmyr Gibbs, because he definitely going to be putting those zeros up on the scoreboard. That's for sure. Ain't no goose eggs over here with Jahmyr Gibbs. But, for sure. That's a great number. Well, first pick for us.
Was he on your list as well?
Yeah, of course. By default, he is. Like I said, there's at least 3 players, and then we kind of differentiate with our last 2.
Got you.
On to the next one, babe. Who you got for the next one?
Let's see here. I guess the next receiver I will go into is going to be Jonathan Taylor.
And we're back at it, babe. So who's your next player?
The next running back is going to be Jonathan Taylor. I think I had a mishap and said receiver earlier. Apologies. I definitely had a long day at work, so this is putting in overtime. So excuse the misstep there. Jonathan,
appreciation by hitting that like and subscribe. That's what you can do.
Yeah, definitely subscribe. Let's see. Jonathan Taylor, he reminded everybody who he is in 2025. Again, he played all 17 games, handled a true workhorse load with 323 carries, and he put up 1,585 rushing yards at the 4.9 yards per attempt. His long run was 83 yards, and he scored 18 rushing touchdowns. That's elite goal line and breakaway production. In the passing game, Taylor added 55 targets, 46 receptions, 378 yards, and 2 receiving touchdowns. His role is real simple. He's the Colts, everyday running back, short yardage, red zone, clock killing, explosive plays, all of it. Taylor is the safest high volume running back in fantasy because the workload is guaranteed and the efficiency is always going to be there.
Yeah, for sure, man. And, he's definitely one of my guys as well. My second choice right here. Again, this is the overlap, Jonathan Taylor. He put up numbers last year, man. And he was, because again, DJ went out. He was also my top 5 players to look out for in your football fantasy needs as a whole. And
that just goes to show you that these running backs are the real deal, because there's going to be several overlaps for us to talk about.
Yeah, no, for sure. Absolutely. And look, man, DJ's out. He's got that Achilles situation. They're going to rely on him again. And that whole entire offense ran through him last year. So he's going to put up points outside of the injury situation. There's a little concern there. There's some bust potential in terms of, is he worth a first rounder in the football fantasy? I think so. I think like a low first round, if he's available, maybe like if you're like that 8th or 7th pick and he's there and you need that workhorse running back, I'd take a risk on him for sure, man. The production value is just going to be absolutely worth it in the end. Because again, that offense goes through Jonathan Taylor first. That tight end, I forget his name second because he's pretty good because he was putting up numbers. Who's the guy again over there, babe, for the tight end? I forget.
I can't even remember right now.
And then DJ third. But, the fans out there understand where I'm coming from with this.
I mean, you could pause it and look for the name real quick because it's awkward.
Nah, that's fine. We can get straight on through it, man. Jonathan Taylor, look for him. Make sure you pay attention if he's available. Snatch him up. Simple mathematics. All right, babe. On to the next one.
Okay, next running back I'm going to talk about is the Bijan Robinson.
Bijan.
So Bijan finally got the usage he deserved in 2025. Again, he played all 17 games, carried the ball 287 times, and delivered 1,478 rushing yards at 5.2 yards per attempt. His long run was a ridiculous 93 yards, and he scored 7 rushing touchdowns. The efficiency jumped, and explosive plays showed exactly why he's top-tier talent. As a running back, Bijan saw 103 targets, caught 79 passes, and put up 820 receiving yards with 4 receiving touchdowns. That's wide receiver. Oh my God. That's wide receiver level involvement. He has a clear role. He's Atlanta's offensive centerpiece, and they use him as a runner, a slot option, a mismatch creator, everything. Bijan is a true dual threat workhorse. Absolutely.
I couldn't agree more. And he's our last and final overlap running back. He's expected to go number 1 over, as far as production. He's expected to absolutely boom this season, especially because they don't know what's going on over there with Atlanta as far as their quarterback situation is concerned. So expect, some run-heavy situations going over there as far as the offense is concerned. And he's gonna do it, man. He's got the talent. He's got the production value. He's a running back's running back, and I expect him to do nothing less, if not more, than what he produced last year. So, hey, man, if he's there, he is definitely getting snatched up by me. It's real simple.
Yeah, I think I took him as my first round pick last year.
I haven't been able to so far, but hopefully, man, maybe this is the year, be my year to be able to snatch him up. So,
yep, running backs are definitely going to go fast this year.
For sure, man, and that's always been my strategy. You want to go running back in that first round, maybe a receiver in that second. I mean, I like to double up on running backs in that first and second rounds, but that's just how I feel about that. But on to the next pick, on to the next running back base. So this is where we start to diverge a little bit. So who's your next player here? Achane. All right.
Achane.
I had him. He's yeah, go ahead, break it down.
So he continues to be the most expensive back in the league. In 2025, he played 16 games, had 238 carries, and put up 1,350 rushing yards at 5.7 yards per attempt. His long run was 59 yards, and he scored 8 rushing touchdowns. So Miami doesn't need to give him 300 carries. You know, his efficiency really does the work here. He had 85 targets, 67 receptions, 488 yards, and 4 receiving touchdowns. His role is all about speed and space. Miami uses him as a change of pace weapon. But, the numbers show that he's really more than that. He's a high efficiency running back who produces starter level fantasy numbers without needing crazy massive volume.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I had him, I believe it was last year. I think I was able to get him in the second round because if I'm not mistaken, I had snatched up, I want to say Saquon. I had him and Saquon on the same team. And he put up numbers for me, man. He was able to kind of, help me out.
That was a good, that was a surprising good pick for you last year.
Yeah, for sure, man. Bijan Achane definitely helped me out a couple weeks. Unfortunately, couldn't win it all with him. I mean, rather, it wasn't his fault. It was, the rest of my team's fault. But what are you going to do? But as far as what's going on there, yeah, c'est la vie indeed. But that offense, they're going to continue to run through Achane, especially again, another team that they don't know what's going on with their quarterback because Tua Tagovailoa ain't there no more. They're kind of going through a rebuild situation, so I expect him to be that workhorse back down there for sure. So here's my little divergence of a player here, and it's actually one of my top 5 to look out for as far as overall players as a whole. And
he was almost on my list.
Ashton Jeanty, man. Yeah, man, stop sleeping on this young man. You know what I mean? He had a rough year last year. He put up some decent points, though, however, just shy of 1,000 yards. Still put up 346 in the air, so that's at the very least 1,200 overall purpose with 10 touchdowns. They just revamped that offensive line. Mendoza's in the building. They're doing a lot of good things over there with the Raiders. I'm actually excited, and I can't wait to see what they do with him because I'm a fan. I'm gonna be honest with you. He went to Boise State. That's actually my favorite college team, and it's funny because they're my favorite college team because of they got a blue turf field and it just looks so cool. That's literally why I like that team, and plus their mascot.
Sometimes you don't have to have a crazy reason. Sometimes it's the little things that count.
Right, and then their mascot is the Broncos, I believe. So, my high school team's mascot was a horse. So it's just kind of one of those things that, I like Boise State. So I expect him to do great things this season. I expect him to possibly, who knows, man? He made 191 fantasy points last year. Who's to say he can't make double this year? So let's see, man. Keep an eye out for number 2 because I think he's going to do a lot of good things this year, especially for fantasy.
That was a good pick.
Yeah, for sure. But on to the next one, my love.
All right. So last but not least on my top 5 running backs for this year, it's going to be Jeremiah Love.
Jeremiah Love.
Jake's
going to like that one.
So, he comes in as a rookie this year, projected to handle a real workout. The projections that I found on Fantasy Pros gives him 238.3 carries, 1,078.7 rushing yards, and 7.2 rushing touchdowns. So as a running back, he's projected for 54.4 catches, 419.5 yards, and 2.1 receiving touchdowns. So ball security sits at 2.2 fumbles, and he's projected for 201.3 fantasy points. So for a rookie, I would say the projection for 201.3 is actually pretty good. His role is expected to be a featured back, early down work with real involvement in the passing game. So Arizona is projecting him as a high-touch rookie with 3 down potential.
I couldn't agree more. I expect them to rely heavily on him because, they got Brissett over there in the building. They also have Marvin Harrison Jr. as far as receiving threat, but it's just, being as that they don't have the guy at the quarterback position, he's going to be relied upon. And my only concern is that offensive line, but it's also a little bit of the concern I have with Ashton Jeanty. So hopefully whatever tweaks and whatever they've been able to do to improve that offensive line to help him, will turn out good for him. But I think it's a good pick.
Yeah, I agree with you about the offensive line, but I still, anticipating for him to be one of the go-to guys.
For sure. Definitely a sleeper situation because I don't think a lot of people are really putting a lot of
eggs in the basket. I'm looking for?
Yeah, with him as far as like upside. But so last, certainly not least though, talking about difference makers and what have yous. James Cook III, 269 fantasy points for the year, 1,600 yards, 12 touchdowns, another 291 with 2 in the air. Not that much of an aerial threat, but as far as like straight numbers on the ground and goal line situations, yeah, James Cook, man, the third. Dude,
I feel like this is another sleeper situation, but I feel like he's madly underrated, and I do think that he has potential to break out this year.
For sure, man. And yards per, average yards per carry is 5.2, so he's just chewing it up, man. Chewing up the yardage, getting it done, getting the first downs, putting that offense in positions to make plays. And remember, he's got Josh Allen over there too, handing him off the ball. So I expect nothing but production from the both of them. More important, more James Cook, honestly, just because, did they give Josh Allen any weapons over there? So I think it's going to be a situation where they're going to have to run that ball between him and James Cook. So I expect James Cook to put up numbers this year. Definitely has the talent for it. And the offensive line.
For sure. I agree.
Keep James Cook in your planning as far as your football fantasy preparations.
Well, that wraps it up, everybody. Here we are coming in with, the top running backs. Next, we're going to do receivers. So keep a lookout for that. We also might do an episode on, like beginner friendly tips for anybody who's just starting out fantasy or for those who just want to tune in. So keep an eye out for that.
For sure. And also keep an eye out for all the other great content creators and great content over here at the Shakedown 2.0 that we got cranked out for you guys for the Big Blue Ocean and honestly any other NFL football fan out there. Because, regardless of the majority of us being Giants fans, we do love football first and foremost. So don't ever think that we can't sit here and talk football or talk ball in general when it comes to the NFL. So stay tapped and tuned in. Make sure you run up and sub up. Can't stress it enough. As Miss Hangover stressed earlier, we put the time in. So please just show a little appreciation for us and the work that we do over here at the Shakedown 2.0. So anything else you got to tell them before we wrap it up here?
Nah, shout out to my team, the Seahawks, and shout out to the Shakedown crew, and keep an eye out for their up and coming videos as well. And again, hit that like, subscribe, and check us out in the future.
Absolutely. Couldn't have said it better myself. And as I always say around this time, babe, the Big Blue Revolution will be televised. Peace.
Yes, pick per flex. We just wrapped up the show. Miss Hangover dropping heat. Ghost out letting the flow. If you rocks with the breakdowns, the chaos, the checks, hit that like, smash, subscribe, show respect to the flex. Shake down 2.0. Yeah, we taking it higher. New drops every week. Keep your lineup on fire. We out, stay tuned, stay locked, stay blessed. Next episode, yo, then you already know the